So on the morning we left on the trip, I woke up in a exciting but scared mood.
On the morning of the trip, I kind of felt a little nervous because one, it's the first time being out of the continent. Like I've traveled before, but I'm leaving the continent, so I don't know how it's gonna be.
The morning trip, I felt like I had to be there. I had to represent for my family and the Black community, so I had to be there.
Okay, so on the morning of the trip, I felt pretty excited. I will also say I felt pretty overwhelmed, and I would say like the general kind of like feeling was nervousness.
I would say the way I felt that morning when I woke up and started the day, I felt like I was in a dream. Cause I already feel like here at Statesmen, like they just treated it word like.
Okay, the morning of the trip was rough because there was a car accident in front of our school, and that's what held up our time to go to Europe.
We got here, they made sure we had everything ready. We went through inventory checks, and they just made sure we were prepared. When I boarded that bus, got to the airport, got on that plane, I was like, it's the done deal. Like, we're going. Like, there's no turn back now.
What was like your favorite experience? Like, what did you guys like love experiencing?
The best thing I saw was the flamenco dancing, just because of the emotions and the effort put into the dance, because all the steps and more like moves was put like with emotions, and they was just feeling the beat.
My favorite experience, I would say the Mona Lisa, but I feel like that's cliche, and to me it wasn't as impactful as I thought it would be, to be honest. Now, granted, I'm 13-year-old African-American male who's seen the Mona Lisa and been in the Louvre. That is not something many people can say, or many grown men can say. But when it goes to best experiences, I would have to say the flamenco dancing. The reason I say the flamenco dancing is because of the simple fact that wasn't choreographed. They just felt the way they felt, and they put their emotion into their dance. Every step, every stomp, every twist, and every twirl, it was all of them. They were feeling the rhythm. They were dancing. It felt like their soul was just like, this is how you feeling right now. That's what we're gonna do. And then when the dude had put Zion on the stage, I was like, yo. Not only did he recognize that Zion was having a good time, but he recognized that he wanted to go up there. And Zion, being Zion, started dancing and we started having fun with it. And it was just cool because we're really in Madrid. We're really going to France, we're really going to London. And we're teenagers. To be honest, my best experience was the whole trip in itself, because I was in Europe. I would like to hear your input, because you were on the verge of not being able to go, and you pushed through and you were able to go. So
the best thing that I saw was Brixton, because it was so much history behind it. Every place you went, there was a piece of history, everywhere. Why I say that is because I didn't know there was so much Black history and everything in there. It was just amazing. The thing I'm never gonna forget about Europe is a lot of people call Big Ben like this, the Big Ben, but it's called the Elizabeth Tower and the belt side of the Big Ben. Yeah. That's I'll never fully forget that, bro. I'm gonna tell you. Oh, that's the Big Ben Euro. Yeah. You're right. What's one thing you never forget?
Best thing I saw had to be, I'm gonna say the Louvre in general, but the paintings everywhere, just the art style of the paintings was so much different than what we see today. So being able to see those artworks and just experience them, and just being able to be there in his presence was great.
I really wish I knew what the painting was called. I think it was called the diner, or not the diner, the dinner at the. It was one of those biblical paintings. So it was one of those paintings. Yeah, it was literally right across one of these. It was this wide. I mostly enjoyed it because of the artwork. It was very very Renaissance. He gave you the Renaissance vibe. Art was being recreated and being remade.
The thing I mostly enjoyed, me personally, was the Louvre,
the Louvre. I love the art. I love everything to do with art. I can't draw, but I love looking at it. I love going to go see art. And that art in there just really was cool. I really liked it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I will say is that while we were there, I realized how different they are from us. Like, they respect what they build. Like, they don't build some nothing over time. Like, they get tired of it and they break it down or like destroy stuff for no reason, take from other people. Like, at least that from what I saw. Like they respect each other. They respect what they build. They play together and fight. Like they act like they're like a civilized community. Like,
to be honest with you, not to like put in a negative mood here, but like I'm never gonna forget like the racist experiences we had, because like that happens everywhere. It's not just confined to one general location. Like what happened to us in the alleyway when we were walking towards the Dungeon little restaurant. The homeless people, it's like you're homeless and you're throwing paper mache money at us, calling us negritos. And not only are you doing this to like kids, but
Make yourself feel better.
to make yourself feel better, but you're a grown adult and you still feel like because of the where your life is going, you have to say to a person, no matter what they look like, no matter how old they are, you have to say something that diminishes them as a person themselves. Like at the end of the day, no matter what happens, you're gonna face it. You just have to overcome it and let the negative things push you to do more positive in yourself, in the world, and like as a friend, as a person, in every aspect of my life. What did you think about it?
One thing that I'll never forget is the things that the people there will never forget, honestly. Like a lot of the people, that saw us and was just like, hey, like, it's a group of these boys and it's like, it's amazing. Like, it's not something you see every day. And it's just like, the things that the people there will never forget. Like the impact we had on Madrid, the impact we had on Paris, the impact we had on London. Just like, I would never forget like the huge impact like years from now that we had on the people there. And just how much that probably changed them, or even just changed like the environment.
I mean, one advice I will always bring back and tell the others is that always keep your mind open and never feel like there's only you out here. Because there's people of our color all around the world who are willing to help us.
If I could give a piece of advice to the students who would be taking the trip next year, I would probably say don't let the culture shock impact your trip. Don't let the positive or negative things derive you from the path you want your trip to go in, because of the fact that if you stay on your path with the trip how you want it to go for yourself, it'll play out. Don't let how other people see you or other people talk to you, don't let that change your motive of what you want to do for the trip.
If somebody's going to school next year and they're going to Europe, taking a trip to Europe, one thing I would tell them is always keep your expectations high. Never lower your expectations and have a great time no matter what happens.
One piece of advice I give to people taking the trip next year would just be able to be like adaptive, like just adapt. Like a lot of things are gonna happen that's not gonna go your way or just not gonna go in favor like of what you thought was gonna happen. So just like adapt, like be able to kind of form and shift to what's gonna happen next.
A few things I would tell some of you guys that are taking the trip next year or in the future. Number one, sleep. Sleep is very important throughout this trip. If you don't sleep, you're not really gonna focus the next day. You're not gonna see all the amazing things that you're going to see on the trip. So sleep is like the main thing.
Some piece of advice I would give the lower school kids is to, one, not fall asleep on the trips. Another thing is to make sure you spend your money wisely, because in the future it will come back to get you.